Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Tons of new content today, including an upgrade to one of the best cards in the game. We got a new team of the week, we've got new style icons, and a ton of new prime times, and we're going to break them down as we always do. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I would really appreciate you banging that subscribe button and give the video a like if you did enjoy it. Alright guys, let's get into all of the new content. We'll kick things off with some of the prime times. We've got the 88 FREDERIK Andersen, who's having an absolutely incredible season. He's got the superstar ability Tip Jar, good aggression down at 74, and is 6'4". His speed is a little low at this stage of the game at 86. That is the most important goalie stat outside of goal post to post, obviously. But this is a pretty good build. Andersen cards have been pretty decent in the past, and if you're looking for a cheaper goaltender, or at least one that isn't a master set, this could be an option for you. The one thing I will say, though, is that because he is an 88 overall, he's going to be held up because of the 88 overall prices. I don't think he's going to be really worth the 45,000, 50,000 coins. Then we've got the 89 THATCHER DEMKO, very similar in size, and DEMKO cards have been pretty good for the last couple seasons. He's got light work, which is a pretty good superstar ability to have, and then no timer, but again, just not nearly as effective as post to post is. 73 aggression, speeds at 86. This is almost a mimic card of Freddie Andersen, and just like Freddie, he's an 89 overall, so he's going to cost about 50,000 coins minimum because of that overall trade-in set. Johnny Gaudreau gets up to a 90 overall, and Gaudreau cards are still among some of the best to get early on in the game as you're slowly building up your team. And 5'9", obviously, that's pretty tough to work with, but 94 speed is 94 speed. He's got 94 acceleration, 99 agility, shot in the 90s. Hand stats are almost max as well. Defensively, obviously going to be a big liability, but if he is going to be your number one first-line player, gold elite edges on this card could be absolutely devastating for your opponent if you won't know how to do, the cuts and things like that. Really, really effective there. If he is not on your first line, it costs a little too much for me in terms of the gold zone ability if he's not on your first or second line, though. And then we've got the 91 JACCOB SLAVIN, 6'3". He's got great size. And with buzzing or workhorse, I would go workhorse. He would get up to 90 acceleration and has gold shutdown. I've mentioned this before, that gold shutdown is one of the best zone abilities in the entire game. 88 speed, still a little slow, but among left-handed defensemen, there isn't a lot of elite ones out there. And in that middle range, or I would say 88 to 92, there isn't a ton of them that are really good. And honestly, Slavin's becoming a little bit better every time he gets an upgrade here. We'll take a look at his X Factor now, because it was one of the worst ones at the beginning of the game, but he does have gold shutdown. And again, he's got booming shot, as well as magician, or, depends on what you want to use. But again, same situation. He's only going to have either 88 acceleration or 88 speed because he's only got one slot for his skating. It just makes it a little tough. Again, obviously, that's a little bit worse skating than, let's say, Victor Hedman, and Victor Hedman is 6'6", so you see the difference there. But Stick Him Up is a very good defensive ability, as is Bouncer, so all in all, not bad. It's just awfully difficult to recommend you throw collectibles into this guy because, again, every single one is going to cost at least 3, and that's about 75,000 coins in value, so just be on the watch there. That is pretty expensive, and I still don't think that it's worth upgrading JACCOB SLAVIN's X Factor. Then we got the 94 Victor Hedman, 6'6", with booming shot, as well as magician, and gold truculence. Now, normally, whenever a card like this comes out, we just really care about the X Factor or the Team of the Year card. This is wild. Gold truculence on someone who's 6'6" is pretty nuts. It's going to be really devastating and tough to get around. If he had silver shutdown as well, he might be legitimately impossible. Still 90 speed, 89 acceleration. I'd much rather have this card than Slavin, for example. But if you pack this one, let's say untradeable, or you just pack them straight up, this card has a lot of value to be used. I don't think you need to go out and get the Team of the Year or the X Factor version if you have this one. Obviously, for a little while, when the speed and everything becomes a little too low, this is still a really good option, and gold truculence on someone who's 6'6" is wild. So that does mean that his X Factor does get an upgrade all the way up to 94, and we'll see he's got Distributor, so he can go up to 92 speed, or you can do Spark. That would get him to 91 acceleration, which is probably where I would go. And he's got Stick Him Up as his gold ability, phenomenal defensive stick speed, exceptional accuracy when checking against momentum or at speed, and greatly reduces the chance of penalty. This is a very, very good zone ability as well for defensemen. Seeing Eye is great, as is Thunderclap, if you combine the two, as well as Silver Shutdown. His X Factor is good. It's just, again, it's such an expensive cost. I think that if you can't get, or if you didn't get his Team of the Year card, Victor Hedman. It's very difficult. Like, the cost is just getting absurd because that's 100,000 coins in value to go up from the 93 to the 94, and you probably don't really need to because at tier 12 he gets that spark upgrade. But if you have him untradeable and you've already put some into him, then I'd probably look to keep doing it, as he's going to end up being at 99. It's just the cost is going to be so high. And then taking a look at his team of the year now, 92 speed, 91 acceleration. He's got 99 hand stats outside of deking, body checking, defensive awareness. It doesn't really matter. This card is just so good. Gold shutdown, seeing eye, and 1T on the superstar abilities. I throw on quick pick as well, and you're laughing. This is one of, if not the best cards in the game. On to the new style icon cards. We'll look at a few of them. This 84 Robin Salo, 6'1" left defenseman, kind of sneaky good for anyone that's looking for a very cheap defenseman early on. He has distributor and buzzing, which can get his speed up to 87, which obviously isn't very great, but his acceleration's already 90, and he has seeing eye and 1T, that combo that we talked about with Hedman. Now, obviously, his shooting stats are very low, but for anyone looking for a decent defenseman, you're not going to find many that are over 6 foot with this kind of skating really early on in the game in the low 80s, so might be an option for you for sure. Then we've got the 84 Garnet Hathaway, 6'2" winger with workhorse as well as fly the zone. 85 skating around the board with gold truculence. Doesn't matter, just way too slow at this stage of the game. No matter if you're just starting out, there's better cards for you. Then we've got the 86 Philip Ronick with workhorse or distributor. I'd probably go workhorse with elite edges and tape to tape. Not a big fan of those superstar abilities on a defenseman, but again, for an 86 overall defenseman, it's hard to find those middle defensemen or those middle range defensemen, and 88 speed, 90 acceleration isn't bad at all. So definitely an option for you if you're looking for someone in the 86 range. On to the 86 Adam Lowry, and they are starting to put in some interesting cards here. Because again, we and myself and my co-host on my podcast, Coffee and Shell, Kesso, we've been messing around with superstar abilities quite a bit, and he had brought up a few weeks ago in the Game Changer chat that Total Eclipse just hasn't been on a lot of cards, and what that does is it's an exceptional increase to screening goaltenders. And we've been looking to messing around with this 6'5" Adam Lowry that plays center with Total Eclipse. Could be pretty wild, so I might just play a couple games and just station him right in front of the net, just for science. I mean, he does have sparks, so his acceleration gets up. He's absolutely brutal in terms of skating. This is, not a card that you want to use, but I'm really interested in Total Eclipse, so I might be trying to run some centermen that have it and see if, maybe that's the new meta. On to the 87 TOREY KRUG, workhorse as well as distributor. Just he is the Brad Marchand of defensive builds. You're never going to want to use a smaller defenseman. However, I had mentioned to the Hut content team that try putting truculence on a smaller defenseman to see if that helps out. So for anyone that gets to try out this TOREY KRUG card, please activate truculence on him and see if you can bump people off the puck. Maybe throw on Spark instead of Workhorse to get his body checking up a little bit higher. I'm really curious. Leave it in the comments down below. I'm going to check this video over the next couple days. I want to see if anyone gives this a go, because if Gold Truculence does improve and actually knock people off the puck with someone who's 5'9", that opens up a lot of doors for smaller defensemen. On to the 87 Nick Peterson with Spark and Fly the Zone with Total Eclipse and Big Tipper. This is another option that I'm going to try out this weekend probably. 86 speed, 86 acceleration, again, not really good, but does play center, and if you get Fly the Zone activated on him, you can have him just sit in front of the net with 88 faceoffs. Again, I want to see if this actually does something. Big Tipper, since the start of the game, we've realized just isn't all that great. It doesn't really change anything as tip pucks go in quite often, or they're just pretty effective. But Total Eclipse might be the play here, so really interested to try this one. Then we've got the 88 Willie O'Ree, honoring the man, Willie O'Ree. We've got Workhorse and Spark as well as Buzzing. A pretty good right-handed winger, to be honest with you. Has truculence. Shot is above 90. His hand stats are in the high 80s, low 90s. Defensively, he's not bad either. This is actually a pretty solid card. And again, does have that gold truculence and unstoppable force, so a nice little combo there. Then finally, we have an upgrade to Sean Couturier. He gets a style icon card, Spark and Heart and Soul, as well as Quick Draw and Total Eclipse. Man, they are starting to have a lot of fun with these superstar abilities. And again, guys, I would love to try this out. Much like I mentioned in the prior video about Peter Forsberg having Quick Draw, it makes him pretty interesting at center. He's always been a pretty good center because of his size. But that quick draw ability is very effective. 88 speed, 89 acceleration is slower, much like all of the other centermen that are around his size, like Draisaitl and Matthews. And I had mentioned prior that right now I think that there's just better, faster guys that you could use at center. As these guys get up into the higher 90s, obviously that's going to change, but does have total eclipse. And again, I think if you combined everything, and this is the video I think I'm going to make this weekend, if you combined Hedman and Burns, okay, let's say, or it doesn't really matter, with Seeing Eye and 1T, and you rip point shots with someone who's got total eclipse, or let's say total eclipse and big tipper, I just want to see if it actually does work out quite a bit, because point shots, as we've mentioned the whole year, have just been very, very low in terms of scoring as opposed to prior years. They go in very, very infrequently, unless you have those abilities active, it seems. So I'm just really curious to see it, but this is a really good Couturier card. Taking a look at his X Factor now, he's got Gold Stick 'em Up, which is a very good ability. I like it more on defenseman, though. His other ability's not that great, to be honest with you. Does have Booming Shot as well as all of the skating synergy, so he can get up to 90 speed at 6'3", which isn't bad, obviously, at 89 overall. I still don't think this is one that you want to invest in, because you're already getting to the 90 overall, and he still isn't going to touch 90 skating, and that's not bad. Again, it's not absolutely detrimental, but also his abilities that he gets aren't all that impactful either. So if you're going to put money into a centerman, like if you're dead set on putting him into a centerman, obviously if you're a Flyers fan, please do it. But if you're looking for a centerman X Factor, like, you could go Matthews or Draisaitl, and obviously I don't really recommend it. I think that you should wait until new cards of theirs come out and use those cards instead, as opposed to upgrading, but I'd rather have those than this. And then lastly, we've got the 92 Matthew KACHUK with Wingman and Fly the Zone, and now he's up to 90 skating, total eclipse, and big tipper. I think they might have went a little overboard here. The only issue is that it really doesn't help when they're on the wing. But that being said, if you can't play him at center with 71 in the draw, even if you are elite at the game, that is pretty tough to go with. That being said, total eclipse and big tipper, awesome combo, fun combo. Shooting is great. Hand stats are awesome. Body checking defensively is great. I'm actually not opposed to using Matthew KACHUK cards now. Not the X Factor, though. So I've had a lot of questions about the X Factor. The X Factor is just one of the worst to upgrade, because his cost is very high, and his third synergy still doesn't have another skating one, and there's no guarantee that he'll get another skating one, because I believe we're missing Wingman, and there's no guarantee that he will get that. Again, there's 15 slots and 16 synergy. So right now, this one can only get up to 90 speed, 88 acceleration, and it is costing you 3 collectibles right now to get up to 92. And also, it's tricky. It's just one of the least impactful ones. He does have big tipper and total eclipse, though, but again, it's a winger. Just all around, it's a lot of just stuff that isn't interesting for the position he plays. And then lastly, we'll take a look at the team of the week. We've got the 94 Brad Marchand with Spark and Distributor. Same situation as always with Brad Marchand. He has 92 speed, 92 acceleration, great shot. Everything is awesome. He's just 5'9", which is the issue. He isn't exceptionally fast. However, he does have gold truculence. Again, guys, I'd love to hear about the smaller players with truculence. Try them out if you have them. Let me know in the comments section if you are able to bump people off the puck in the defensive zone. If that is the case, like I said with TOREY KRUG, that really opens things up to be able to use smaller players near the end of the game. NAZEM KADRI's up next at 90 overall. He is having an incredible season. He's got Fly the Zone, Spark, as well as Tape to Tape and Truculence. This is a very good center card. Honestly, 91 speed, 91 acceleration, 90 shot across the board, 90 face-offs. Again, just for a card that isn't like in the low or the mid-90s, 90 overall isn't going to break the bank. Does have silver truculence. I just think that this is a pretty decent build for you, and you could probably get him for like 60K at most. Then we've got the 93 Jonathan HUBERDEAU. He's got Booming Shot as well as Gladiator, 92 speed, 92 acceleration, 99 agility. HUBERDEAU cards are becoming pretty interesting as well. Again, his X Factor is kind of on the cusp of being worth it. Just again, it's the ability combo I'm not a huge fan of, but this card specifically, like his Team of the Week card, very, very good for anyone that is looking for a left-handed winger. Anthony DUCLAIR, one of the better free-to-play or lesser team build cards to go after early. 91 speed, 91 acceleration, 91 agility for anyone that is, 84 overall is really, really impactful. So if you can find him for cheap, that's a solid buy for 89 Alex DEBRINCAT now, good, decent speed at 92, acceleration. Again, he's just 5'7". There is just far better options for you to use, especially among right-handed wingers. On defense, we've got the 90 Aaron Ekblad with Workhorse as well as Buzzing. 89 speed, 90 acceleration. Good speed for the fact that he's 6'4". again, if you are looking for like a non-master set right-handed defenseman, this is a really good option here for you. Like, this is rivaling Dougie Hamilton as well as John Carlson. If you don't have their X factors, this is a very good replacement for sure. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we've got the 90 Cale Makar, and his skating stats are wild and does have gold seeing eye. I don't think gold seeing eye is particularly all that great for the cost. Again, I think that 1T and seeing eye's silver abilities as a combo really stack nicely. But if you like Adam Fox or those smaller builds and you can use them, he is not going to bump people off the puck like he did in last year's game. But definitely, if you are someone who likes to skate the puck out of the zone with your defenseman, he is one of the best at it. And the 90 Cale Makar is a very good card. Defensively, I don't think I'd rather go with someone a little bit bigger. And then in net, we've got the 87 SERGEI BOBROVSKY, silver post to post, 6'2". I think, give him a shot. Again, try him out. Let me know in the comments section. I think it's got to be the gold ability for him to get the full effect here at being only 6 foot. And just before we go, we'll take a look at that 93 Jonathan HUBERDEAU X Factor. Does have Magician, Thief, as well as Gladiator. Middle synergies, Booming Shot is probably where I would go. And then he's got Distributor, so he can get up to 94 speed. Again, he's on the cusp of being very good. Gold tape to tape, again, I like tape to tape. If he is one of your first two line players, gold tape to tape is fine. The other ones I'm just not very, very big on. So that being said, it's still a very good card. His cost is awfully high. Like, his next one, I believe, is going to cost 4 power-up collectibles. And that's just like a week's worth of Hut Champs to go up 1 overall. And he won't go up any speed stats next attribute either. So just keep that in mind, guys. But it's still a very, very good. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me today's video. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.